All right, I am here at Occupy Amarillo with Rikker. Rikker, when did you become a member of the Occupy movement?
Uh, I'd say I became a member of Occupy movement before there was an occupation. Uh, when I saw the Arab Spring happen earlier this year, in the beginning of 2010, I pretty much was trying to call for the same thing to happen here, and I think that was the beginning of the occupation. I think it was in a lot of people's minds is the reason that it started here eventually.
No, yeah,
But
I agree.
as soon as I heard that there was going to be an occupation in New York, I had actually planned on going there or to DC because I didn't know it was going to spread across the country at the time. But
And then what happened? I know we talked a little bit when I first met you about you decided you could be a help here.
well, it was in August. It was about a month before the occupation in New York officially started. But I knew that it was coming up, and I mentioned to a friend of mine that I wanted to go there for it to start protesting, and he mentioned, why don't we start one here? And a few weeks went by, and I didn't really think too much that it could happen here.
Very
in this
conservative town.
yeah. And all of a sudden one day I just got an invite to the group that someone had started, and it was a friend of this friend that I was talking to who started the group. So I was like, yeah, I didn't start it on my own, but as soon as it started, I was on board all the way.
For sure. How would you describe the situation in the United States?
Situation in the United States, I mean, it's honestly it's on the verge of collapse. The economic collapse is almost inevitable, and it's been heading this way for a long time. During my whole lifetime, in the last 30 years or so, we've just seen the middle class disappear, and fewer and fewer people have more and more money and more resources to have a comfortable life. So more and more people are having less of it, less of a lower standard of living, pretty much. And yeah, something needs to be done. Something should have been done a long time ago. It should have never gotten this bad, but we're out here trying to do it now.
Yeah. How would you describe the Occupy movement?
The Occupy movement is I've always thought of it as because there's no hierarchy. I just call it an open source movement. Everyone has a voice and input to try to make something better as a whole, and it's constantly changing. That's one of the things that is cool about it. Actually, it's not one thing. It's something different to every person who's in it, and that we hope that we can bring all these people together to make real change happen. It's for change. It's all about change.
Well, to fix things.
To fix things, to make things, yeah,
Better for everybody.
better for every single person, every single living being is the way I
Yeah,
look
not
at
just
it.
even people. A lot
Yeah,
of
yeah.
Are you a member of the Economic 99%?
For sure, definitely. I've told people who are skeptical of the Occupy movement, friends of mine in the beginning, I said that I haven't really been affected so much by the economic downturn, the so-called recession, the depression, whatever it is
Depression, I
now
think
at
we
this
should call
point.
it,
It's
yeah.
already a depression. Because I always lived within my means. I never had a credit card. I never had huge debt. But at the same time, and I've always been a part of that 99% because I barely could scrape by a living. But even though I wasn't affected by it, I knew that this was an opportunity when the whole Occupy thing started, that we could change things. If we have enough people who realize only together.
People wake up.
Yeah, enough people need to wake up and realize they do have a voice, just not within the current system, I don't think.
So a little bit you touched on what my next question was going to be, but do you have anything else you'd like to share about what living in America as part of the 99% economically is like?
I mean, like I said, I think I have a little bit of different perspective because I feel like I can survive no matter how it is. But for the majority of people, this is another thing is I don't have I guess people that depend on me.
Children
or children, yeah, or a wife or anything. So it's like,
it would look worse if there was 4 or 5 depending on you.
yeah, and it's become where, it's like I said, 30 years ago, you could make a living off of just a factory job or what was a minimum wage job. You can't do that.
Yeah, the dollar's not worth the dollar.
Yeah. The dollar's not worth as much, but the price of everything went up. The
For sure.
wages didn't go up with it. So
Gas quadrupled, everything else went up, and wages either went down or stayed.
right.
How long will you be a supporter of the Occupy movement or a member?
I've always said from the beginning that I'm supporting the Occupy movement until it goes away, and the only reason I see it going away is if significant change happens, or they throw us all in like internment camps or something, which is a possibility.
There's some legislation going around. Everybody should Google.
Yeah, ADAA, American Defense Authorization Act. That needs to be stopped right away. That along with the Stop Online Piracy Act. Those two are working together right now to kill any freedom we have, pretty much, to organize, to do the things that we're doing.
To communicate with each other these ideas we all have.
Right.
Also, I wanted to ask you, I understand up here in Amarillo that there's at least one, if not more times, that you have done a march all by yourself on National Action Days, and that you have even occupied here by yourself for 24 hours.
Yeah. For the first few weeks we were here, I was the only one here during the day most of the time because all of our members are working, and we only had a few who were actually occupying. But during that time, I would sit out here with just a sign and pamphlets and talk to whoever came by. I always thought that it was like one-man protests. But yeah, one day I actually did carry around a sign to all the banks around this area. I say that was the one time that I really actually marched by myself, and it was pretty cold that day too. It was a freezing day, around freezing.
No, and the wind here, if anybody's never been to Amarillo, the wind here is a little ridiculous. I don't know why they call Chicago not here. The windy
Yeah.
city.
Yeah, seriously.
I marched here with the group one time, and just walking with the signs down the street was work. Do you have a favorite story or experience having to do with Occupy? Whether something happened to you, something you saw, something you'd like to share that's with Occupy related? There goes some of that wind.
Yeah. Really, the whole experience, just as soon as we started camping out here and knowing that there were people occupying out here, we were occupying here, and there were other people occupying everywhere at the same time, even in other parts of the world, and feeling the solidarity of that. And overall, that was my greatest experience. The very first morning, we showed up, or after you showed up, and this Native American guy showed up playing a flute in the morning. It was like I don't know, it was a good omen to me, and that's probably one of my favorite things that's happened.
That was awesome.
Yeah,
It was. That was your wake up. You woke up that morning to come out to the flute, right?
Right, yeah. And when I heard the guy talking, I was like listening, but I was still in the tent. I didn't want to get out of a warm bed, but and then he started playing the flute, and I said, I gotta get up now. And then he started talking about the ancient Inca laws. Don't be liar, don't be stealer, don't be lazy.
Which is on the rules. Here, you keep talking. I'm gonna get the side as well.
Yeah. And just the stuff that he was saying, he was selling these little medicine bags, and he said that the symbols on there stood for don't lie, don't steal, don't be lazy. And also
No. This is don't be liar, don't be stealer, don't be lazy. This means
stood for the moon, the earth, and the sun. And I forget forget what the other one was. Yeah,
The mother, the father.
Yeah, the grandfather, because it's grandfather spirit, mother earth.
No, that was definitely an awesome experience, and I took it as you like a good omen too.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any message you'd like to share with people who may not have heard of Occupy or maybe misinformed?
This is a message I don't know that I try to tell people who haven't heard of it, or I talk to for the first time, that only have gotten their news about Occupy from either conservative radio or TV, whatever mainstream press is that they've read. Is the only way you can really know about it is to talk to people. The only real way you can understand where people are coming from is to speak to them personally. And that's really what Occupy is about trying to have a direct democracy, a dialogue about what we see. Every single person has their own issues, and every single person gets to talk about it. And you have your own issues. So join the discussion. I mean, that's what it's all about. It's pretty much the bottom line. It's like people just need to get together and talk and not be stuck watching the TV, watching propaganda on the news. And the time for being a consumer and supporting this economic system that's so flawed and corrupt is over to me. And we have to do something. It's imperative to change.
Yeah. The world's trying to wake up.
Yeah.
Do you have a message you would like to share with your brothers and sisters in the Occupy movement across Texas and the world?
Pretty much. I mean, if you're out there, if you're fighting for something you believe in so strongly, and you know in your heart, you know that what you're doing is right, you have to keep on doing it, because if we don't, no one else will. And if we're not there to talk to people, to try to wake people up, then it's not going to happen. But I really have had a good feeling for a while that, you know, it could still go either way, kind of, but we have been going in that direction to where more and more people are realizing that we do have the power. People have the power. There's a global consciousness that is awakening, and it's connected to everything that's natural, really. It's about saving the planet and the people at the same time.
Good deal. You want to say hi to Kirk in New York?
What's up, Kirk?
Everybody will miss you here. We got the box you brought is the plastic recycle.
Yeah, it's actually right here. I don't know if you can get it.
Oh, and dude, look at Rikker's. Has anybody seen Lucas in Occupy Oakland?
Tools. Can you
Well,
talk?
just this bucket to keep the trash close to the ground so you don't have to bend over very far. Because bending over a million times would make it so a person wouldn't actually do it. And then the pincher so that you can grab any kind of nasty trash on the ground without having to bend over and get it all over yourself. So these two things.
In Occupy Oakland?
Yeah.
As soon as Rikker saw that, he went and got the setup.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, this was for the other question about one of the coolest things that experiences I've gotten from Occupy is this, because I'm gonna use this pretty much from now on. It's like, you know, I hate to see trash on the ground. And go everywhere I go, I'm gonna try to.
If you're gonna be walking anyways, yeah.
Yeah. It's a really cool setup.
And he's got the string on the bucket. He doesn't have to bend for nothing. He's got the thing to pick it up. You walk around and you clean up everything in your path. All right. Rikker, Occupy Amarillo, and Occupy Texas.
Power to people.